Welcome to Great Table Talk, everyone. It's your girl, Cash.
Oh, and me, that other guy.
That other guy, B.
That other guy.
What up, B?
What's going on? No?
I mean, listen, we have so much that we have to talk about. I really want to I want to talk about money. I want to talk about investing. I know we're going to be having these series that's going to be a weekly basis. Yeah. And we want to get people into the idea of no matter where you are financially, no matter, I'm talking about whatever economic group you may be in, there's still a margin that you can start.
Yeah.
So we need to try to connect people with the resources, the knowledge, and give them the education needed in order to be a success in their right. So I'm just going to hand it over to you. I know a lot of people got their stimulus. So
well, not just that. I think the important thing about what we are going to be able to do is not just say, okay, it's important to invest. We're going to really kind of be able to break down the reasons why. Help people, because like I said, if a person's not investing 9 times out of 10 is because they don't really understand it. It's nothing that actually really kind of grabbed them or felt important enough for them to do. And if you say, oh, go invest, then it just sounds like every other time they ever heard it. Mm-hmm. Like showing them how much you put in, your return on investment, mm-hmm. You know, what smart investments are, what other people have made. Like, I just think that by doing that, you give people a more concise, way to make a decision on the things that they want to invest in or whether or not investing is, for them,
Okay, so in investing, that can go a lot of different ways. You know what I mean? We typically invest in our children by giving them providing the best education, be it certain public schools, be it private schools. I mean, we also have investments. Sometimes we think about stocks, mutual funds, CDs.
We'll talk about stocks because I know you know a little bit about, the stock market, and you'll be able to give people insight on that. I want to start by saying a shout out to the guy that I follow, Wall Street Trapper. If you want real good insight on stocks, how to find stocks, what stocks are important, dividends and things like that. I mean, he breaks those things down in a way that are real layman's terms and you can really understand. My stock is tech. Like, I'm big on technology, the things that are going, that are going to boom over the next 5 years. Even something like what we're using now, Zoom.
Right. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Zoom was a stock that skyrocketed, during the quarantine time. And understanding why it did and how we're going to go to video conferencing in a way that we've never been before is an important reason why you look at digital options like a Zoom or those digital conferences that the job market is going to begin to use, or even people around the house will begin to use to communicate with each other. And for me, like, my biggest investment is not really in the stock. My biggest investment is in real estate.
Yeah,
I always feel like that's one of those things that a lot of people are interested in, and a lot of people, understand how it works. But being able to give them insight on, tax situations, where to buy, how to buy, your price point. Like you said, everybody's budget is different.
Right.
And how you get in, ways that you can get in with no money. If you got no money, but you got all hustle, you got drive.
Right.
I mean, it's ways for you to do it, and it's not an infomercial kind of thing that you can do it like. Being able to tell you exactly how they go about doing it without you having to listen to an hour of fluff,
right.
Before they ask you to buy a book or something like that.
Right.
To explain it for them.
Okay, so today let's start off with the stock part. For the longest time, our last best time to buy was, like, I think, the buyer's market. And I'm saying the buyer's market for anyone who's making, I don't know, 15 grand a year plus, right? And I'm loosely saying 15 grand. I mean, if you make it 15 grand a year and you're a 19-year-old living at your parents' house, you have pretty good, you don't have much overhead. Yeah. So you could probably invest $100 into some stock. A lot of you all know stocks are something these days you can go and you can educate yourself on without even have to pay these fees for someone to invest your money for you. There's different platforms you can use: E-Trade, Ameritrade, Robinhood. There's just so many different platforms you can use. I, for one,
I use Acorns. I throw Acorn out there because I got
Acorn, yeah,
you know.
Acorn is another good one, just to get started. So, say for instance, after the month is done, let's talk with the basics. It's important, no matter where you are in life, to have a budget. Like,
yes.
We always like to throw that word out there passingly, but it's super important to have a budget and have some what do you call it? Self
Restraint when it comes to spending?
When it comes to spending. Like, you really have to, no means no, stop means stop. Just listen. Have a budget. If you don't have a budget, you might want to turn off, because you need to start there. Now, there's sometimes that you can make a little thing slip here and there, like, okay, I'm gonna eat fast food today, but tomorrow I need to cook the rest of the week if I eat this meal at, Root Chris or wherever you want to eat at. So first of all, have a budget. You need to know how to budget what you're bringing in first. Once you do that, and at the end of the month, you may have $100 left over. Let's start off with $100. I would encourage you to look into some penny stocks. Penny stocks are any stock that is either a startup company or a company that's kind of having a bad time. Like right now, there are companies that aren't doing so well financially, like a Ford, American Airlines, Carnival Cruise Lines. There's those places that are really now is the buyer's market, because those stocks are $5 a stock. They're $11 a stock. And crude oil right now, as you notice, the last several months, probably 3-4 months, you can gas up probably $20 on a 25-gallon tank. And I'm saying this because I don't really know a gallon tank. Let's just say. Remember them days we used to spend like 85 cents a gallon? We were almost close, but we're not there yet. But crude oil is another one of those things. So educate yourself and into stocks and get into it. And we'll talk more about that later. But the first thing I want to stress is have a budget. Be it a renter, be it a owner, be it someone who's living with their mama, be it making 15 grand a year, know where to start.
I want to tie something to that having a budget part, in case anybody's listening that was like me for a long time. It's hard to have a budget if you don't have a financial goal. Because we say budget, but if you don't really have a financial goal, if you're not really shooting for something, because a lot of times people don't really have a budget until they're trying to get something. If I'm trying to buy a new car, I'm trying to get my house, like, okay, now I need the budget because now I know how much I want. Mm-hmm. Like, we have to start early having that financial goal. It's like, okay, I'm X age. I want to have X amount of money by the time I reach this age. Mm-hmm. That's your financial goal. Once you got that financial goal, then you can budget accordingly. And like I said, that was something for me, I missed it for a long time. Mm-hmm. Then once I started setting the financial goals, it was easy to set the budget because I knew what I was shooting for.
Yeah, that's perfect. Because when you set a budget, like you said, you have a financial goal in mind. And when you set that budget, when you aiming towards that goal, you're going to make sure that, like myself personally right now, I have a lot of subscriptions. I'm going to be honest. I don't really need all
you need all of them. Yeah, so you start trying to find ways to trim the fat.
Yeah, like, I'm calling my kids like, yeah, we don't need this. So some things I can allow to give up in order for me to meet that financial goal, and I kind of dance within that budget. So that's super important. That's really good. I didn't think about that one. Yeah, have a financial goal in mind. Because we often think, oh, we can't do A, B, and C, but we actually can.
You can. I mean, look, like you said, you want to go to Root Chris, but if you got a child at home, you know you got to buy them papers. You don't go to Root Chris. It's not hard. It's not a hard decision not to go because you know what your priorities are.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, oftentimes people confuse, like we hear invest, and I may shift a little bit. And investment is the same thing as in supporting. For instance, invest in our community. Support Black businesses. Those things can kind of be hand in hand, but we don't want to confuse the two. You get what I'm saying?
and I just think what we want to do with this thing is give people like real insight, and not just the catchphrases and the slogans that we've heard 1,000 times. They're true, but we need to explain why they're true. Right. And the thing is that we don't control our economy. We don't control the things that we spend our money on. And innately, as a community, that's a problem. It's the reason why other races come into the country and set up their own neighborhoods, set up their own school systems, set up their own businesses that deal directly with one another, because they understand how important it is to control their economy. It's the real true power that you have. You want to say like everybody's human and we're all part of the human race? Guess what? It's all revolving around that dollar. Right. And your economic importance is far more important than anything else that you can really accomplish in this world. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Your whatever race, skin color, creed, religious background, or whatever, we're all paying into this thing economically. That's why we all pay taxes. I always say that I try to look at life by the things that everybody has to do. Yeah. 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 And one thing that everybody has to do, earn money and give a portion of that back to Uncle Sam. Right. That's right. The system that we're in. Right. I think education is super important. I think education sometimes people think comes in the classroom. I tend to agree yet disagree that knowledge gathering is education. We need to have a made up mind to want to know about something in order to investigate, research, in order for us to be in the know. That's right. Which is you go to YouTube College any day of the week, any time of day. Yeah. There's nothing that you can't find on that thing. So if you want to educate, if you're driven and want to be educated on whatever subject, go to YouTube College. I tell everybody, like, you want to understand something, go to YouTube College. Just watch hours, immerse yourself in it, and if you do it for long enough, like you'll truly understand it and you'll be better for it. Like we're talking about the quarantine, it's like if you didn't come out of this thing knowing something that you didn't know prior to, you really wasted that time. Right. You did. Right. I tell you, this whole quarantine era just it killed all my plans for 2020. I had some plans, I wanted to go to some tropical destinations. That's what I live for in my mind. That's what I live for, vacation. Nope, ain't going now. Soon. But as of right now, those things have been dashed. So that investment, that monies that I was gonna take for those vacations that had to be canceled, I made sure that I invested it in something that's going to make me money. And you were talking about real estate earlier, which is one of the best investments that you can ever get to. But the reality, if we're going to be honest, any Joe Blow can't go. That you heard that beat? Any Joe Blow can't go. Hey. So not any Joe Blow can't just walk in the bank and say I need a loan without having the credit. You get what I'm saying? Now, although I understand 580 plus can pretty much put you in a house if you have the income to back it. However, you have a lot of us that don't understand the power of our credit, of our name, of our spending power. We don't understand the power of that. So what we can do today is educate ourselves on what's our financial goal, because that may vary house to house. We can start that today. What we can also start today is operating within our budget. And after we operate in our budget, let's just say for a quarter, 3 months, we can understand clearly what we're able to do at this particular stage or what we are planning to do at a later stage. You get what I'm saying? But for us not to be doing anything at this point, be it having some sort of financial goal, some sort of budget, some sort of investment, whatever, to say that you don't have any of those things mapped out, we kind of have to stop and reevaluate ourselves. Yeah, well, we're definitely going to have us a full day a full video where we just talk real estate, because just like we're talking about how important your credit is, I'm gonna tell you ways of how cash is king. If you can get into low income properties, how you can get into wholesaling to where you can be selling contracts. You never put any of your own money in it. You secure a contract on a property, you sell it to another person, or you find someone that may be into real estate and they may not have the time to be running around checking out houses, checking out deals, and you go in and you say, look, I'm going to go around this certain area that you're looking for houses in, and if I can find a house, maybe I'll make 2,000, 3,000, or whatever. Just locating and finding a house for somebody that is a real investor, and you stacking your money until you are able to be in that position. Even families, and this was something that was dope, and I got this story, and I really wanted to pass that along. There was a family that inherited a house, and the house was, they got a notice from the parish that the grass needed to be cut. They needed to do certain things, that they were going to have to tear it down. And if the parish came in to tear it down, they were going to charge you for it. Four of them got together, put some money into it, turned it into a rental property. They split it 4 ways. You know what I'm saying? But what they split the money 4 ways, but then after about 6 months of it, they were like, instead of us just splitting this small amount 4 ways, let's stack it and let it build, and then buy us another property. And then buy us another property until we had 4. And then each individual person was getting a larger cut. Now you got a business. And we're talking about how we can go in and outside of real estate, we'll get into it when we just talk about credit, and how we talk about how you can incorporate your real estate properties and then turn that into business credit by getting you a business account and getting you a business account at a bank that's completely separate from your credit, if your credit's not where you need it to be for you to do things individually.
I think that's a dope. I really want let that be our next one that we talk about, because we have to understand that yes, cash is king, but the reality of it is not everyone. Majority of us don't have 10, 20 grand to put our hands on. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. But what's in that you can build it. And I always I saw Willie D had on his Instagram, he had this thing where he's saying that everybody's going to get their lick. Everybody's going to get that time where they may come across 5 grand, 10 grand, maybe 20 or 30. Maybe you like I said, you inherited, somebody dies, whatever, you get that money. It's what you do with it.
Absolutely.
It's like I said, Master P had the 10,000 or 15,000, whatever, and he invested that in himself. He invested into the record store, and he turned that into money. It's like, we've got to start looking at our windfalls as an opportunity.
I agree.
To make more than just an opportunity to splurge, because that's what we turn our windfalls into an opportunity to ball, instead of thinking about how we can ball long term.
Absolutely. And you basically took the words. I said everyone don't have 5, 10, 20,000 to put their hand on, but the reality of it that there's power in numbers. And if I have 5 and you have 5, and we get 2 more people to have 5, we can buy something and make it work.
Yeah, that's why I always say that people need to see the numbers, because they hear the words, but you need to see the numbers. If I tell you, man, your 5 can be 7,500 in 6 months, it sounds like a hustle. But if I put that on paper and show you how that 5 compounds, even if I just tell you about compound interest in the bank, it's saying like, if you sit X amount of dollars a month in this account, or you could put X amount of dollars in this account per year, in 20 years, this is what you're looking at. Because if you're at a job and you've got an IRA, or you've got whatever your retirement is, that's all that guy's doing over there. Yeah. All he's doing is taking your money, putting it into an account, and doing the calculations. It's nothing special about it.
Absolutely.
That's why, like I say, like you were saying, like, education is important. Because you are paying someone to do something that you can do.
Absolutely. Right now, even with the stock situation, and I mentioned this last time to you, that out of every crisis, there's an opportunity, right? So even with stocks, there was a group of us that got together and said, listen, let's pool our monies and let's kind of buy this stock, that stock. And I'm telling you, in a few weeks' time, our stocks have not quite tripled, but close to it. You get what I'm saying? And like I said, there's power in numbers. And some of the people who got into this investment group and I'm talking about the stock side. We're not even talking about the real estate side. The stock side, they had no idea, but they were willing to learn what they had to do and how to follow it for them to be better. So it has to take a willingness for someone to want to do it. So that willingness have to be there. So we're telling everyone, if y'all have a listening ear, we're here to give you the knowledge if you want it.
Yeah.
Be a student. I'm forever a student. I always love to say I'm forever a student. I love to learn about, what concerns me and how to make my life better.
And my tech savvy cousin is gonna give y'all graphs. I'm gonna get her to give just be able to input pictures, because what she's saying about the stock market is so correct, because you think about crashes and you think about market adjustments, and these things happen every 10, 12 years.
Yes.
So the market bottoms out, and then it actually goes higher than it was before it crashed. Like it's a cycle.
Yes.
So whereas you may be fearful of it and you think, oh, the market's crashing, everything. Like it's what happens.
Right.
It's just like crashes are part of the stock market. They're not an anomaly. They're really the norm.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Absolutely. So look, we want everybody to stay tuned. We're going to be talking more about stocks, certainly talking about real estate. We're going to be talking about, of course, in each and every one of these investment strategies that we're going to put forth, we're going to be bringing you some numbers, some factual basis. We need you all to stay tuned. If you want to be a part of it, be a part of it. Let us know. If you have any questions, email us.
Can we start a community? Like, can we start like a group? Like, I think we should start like a Great Table Talk Facebook group for people to be able to put their questions in, or put topics in, things that they want more information about. Because what we want to do is not only talk about the things that we know are important, but really, really break them down and really give you, a good basis to kind of, give you ideas and places to go to find more information, because we're not going to be the be all end all of the information spectrum. Like, we're just kind of hoping to motivate people and get them to be more open-minded about what's out there for them.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll create one. In the meantime, if you have any questions, comments, or add-ins, email us at Gr8TableTalk@gmail.com. That's GR8 tabletalk@gmail.com, or you could DM Great Table Talk on Instagram, Facebook, YBS. You want to give your plug, because anywhere you can reach us, we need to hear from you.
That's right. You get the YBS page. Brandon Isaacs, my page. If you don't know me, ISAAC Brandon BRANDON. You can hit me up, Michelle up. We're gonna get that what
community
I just
page.
The community page up. So if you have any subjects that you want to talk about, we're talking about anything dealing with economics, Chuck's current events, or empowerment. Like, a big part of what we want to do is based on simple empowerment. I would say, like, the biggest thing that we can do for our people is empower them, give them pride, and show them or tell them that, like I said, there's power in numbers, and
right.
The more of us that are on the same page, the better off that we are.
Good deal. All right. Until next time, I'm a holla.